like to welcome you to the June Texas Tri-County Chamber of Commerce Luncheon sponsored by E.R. Anderson Associates. It is my pleasure to introduce one of our diplomats, Miss Missy Carpenter from Remax Corridor. She's going to start us with the pledge and the prayer. If you would please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your heads for prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for all of these people who represent small businesses and large businesses within our community that have come here together finally with smiles on their faces that we can see. So many people wanting to get back out. We're grateful for the people that have gone and gotten vaccinated, the people that are better, that our numbers have dwindled so low that we can get back to business as usual or a new normal of business as usual. We are grateful for the food that you're providing us today. We are grateful for the Live Oak Hilton Inn and how they have come together to take care of all of us with our large number today. And we ask for your continued blessings on our businesses, on our families, and on our communities as we move forward through the summer. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Missy. And now I would actually like to introduce, if you don't already know, our amazing chair, Shankar Ponsalé with Shank's Web Development, with our chair update.
Thank you, Mindy. Well, how are you? We can do better. How are you? Woo! I feel like screaming a little bit because there's quite a lot of nervosity here going on. As you can see, well, first of all, who experienced me screaming at the mixer? Show of hands. That was quite a surprise, wasn't it? Now, my videographer has some footage of that, so we'll make sure you get to see that. Well, what can I say? I just have to say, amazing turnout today. This is the result of a chamber wanting to grow, and this is the result of a Texas that is ready for business again, people. We're ready for business. I've been downtown last week and so happy to see people out and about again, and we can see that reflecting here, and I am sure we are all very, very excited about that. I can tell you that our diplomat team, I just cannot give them praise enough. They are ready too. This is one of the things I told you that we would really ramp up, and I had the privilege of assisting their monthly meetups, and they all attend, they're very active, and I want for those diplomats in the room to show their hands, please. Okay, round of applause here for Missy and Mitzi. A lot of people kind of confuse the names, Missy and Mitzi, but they are not interchangeable. So, for people who are new to the chamber and who are a little shy, yes, some of us are like that, the diplomats, raise your hands again, please. They are there for you to go to and say, hey, I'm new. Help me out here. I'm shy, or I need someone to talk to. So please take advantage of that. Thank you again for the diplomats doing that. Thank you for the chamber media team. I promised you we are on the way to becoming the most technologically advanced chamber in the greater area. And here in front of myself, you can see the result of that. Thank you to my board for supporting me to get a step closer to this vision. by approving investment into technology that enables us to provide great experiences online as well as on-site. And I told you already countless times why it is important to have a footprint online as well. But you know all about that. So I'm going to have to give my face here for my notes. There you go. I want to welcome one of the newest members that I was responsible for bringing in New Choices Treatment Centers. They are represented in the back there with Frank Parisi and Jason Turner. Now, what they do, they're very close to my heart. They help loved ones cope with addictions, alcohol, drug addictions, and they have a strong focus also on veterans, first responders. So please, if you are in the room and you have community members who suffer with that, talk to Frank and Jason. Raise your hands, guys. There we go. That's Frank. Talk to them. With that said, I'm just very happy that we came here and it's such a great turnout. And I'm also very excited about our feature sponsor and board member, Eric Anderson. I'm sure you will be very inspired by what he has to share with you. And with that, I will hand it back to our one and only Mindy Paxton.
Thank you. Thank you, Shankar. So I'm not going to really talk a whole lot today, but what I do want to do is recognize two gentlemen that are a part of Tri-County Chamber. Our diplomat, Jason Delgado with the Delgado Realty Group, and Michael Hornis, one of our city partner assistant managers for the city of Live Oak, they received an honor from JBSA. They were awarded honorary commanders for Joint Base San Antonio 502D Air Base Wing. So please give them a round of applause. I'm very proud of both those two gentlemen. We like to keep a very good relationship with JBSA, the military. We are Military City, USA. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing with the base, and congratulations on such an amazing award. You deserve it, and I look forward to the continued partnership that you guys are going to carry on for us. Next up, I would like to introduce, also with the City of Live Oak, but wearing a different hat today, Councilman Mendel Morgan, who is the president of the Greater Randolph Area Kiwanis Club.
Thank you so much, Mindy. Well, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to say good morning to you, and I think I'll begin by saying, who likes kids and who cares about kids and their future? I do. And I left a poem for many of you to read at your table, and I would like to just, if you don't have a copy of that, just very briefly, the first couple of stanzas. We are responsible for children. We are responsible for children who put chocolate fingers everywhere, who like to be tickled, who stomp in puddles and ruin their new pants, who sneak popsicles before supper, who erase holes in math books, and who can never find their shoes. And we're responsible for those who stare at photographers from behind barbed wire, who can't bound down the street in a new pair of sneakers, who never counted potatoes, who are born in places we wouldn't be caught dead, who never got to the circus, who live in an X-rated world. I won't finish because I'm very limited on time today. But I wanted to draw that contrast to you because hopefully in our communities and in our lives, we're responsible for those first children who put their chocolate covered fingers everywhere and do all those fun things. But there are other children in the world who need help. And that is one of the reasons that I'm proud to be a member of the Kiwanis International, more especially locally, the Greater Randolph Area Kiwanis Club Incorporated. Our club was established, chartered in 1975. For 46 years, we have been working in the community. And I had a yellow sheet that Michael helped me put out, and Donna, on the tables to tell you about some of the things we do. We are interested in providing education through books. We think reading is fundamental, and so we buy books and we distribute them as gifts to children who are disadvantaged. We work with the Texas Ramps Project that helps people who are homebound in particularly mobile homes and cannot get out to have ramps to get away. At Christmas time, we assist with baskets of food for families who need food. We also provide gifts at Christmas for children who might not otherwise have a Christmas. During the school year, we participate in the Happy Hearts Snacks for Children program. On patriotic holidays, we fly the flags for businesses. We sponsor key clubs at Samuel Clemens and Jecca High Schools. We have a Builders Club, younger children, at Dobie Elementary. We provide scholarships in the summertime for YMCA. We also offer scholarships for high school seniors. We support needs such as the local food bank. When there's disasters, we try to participate in that. And we've been working for some years with Project Eliminate. That is an international program. Kiwanis has about 600,000 members worldwide and is rapidly growing in the Pacific Rim and throughout the world. There's a very terrible thing that happens in a lot of third world countries where infants are born. The little umbilical cord will touch the dirt floor of the hut and immediately become infected with tetanus spores. And mercifully, after about 7 to 10 days, the poor children mercifully die because in that meantime they have been so light sensitive they cannot bear to see light. They're so sound sensitive they can't bear to hear sound. They can't be touched. They just their little limbs draw up in terrible spasms because of the tetanus. So partnering with UNICEF about 10 or 12 years ago, Kiwanis International embarked on a project to raise $110 million to give shots in these developing nations to help stop this terrible plague of the tetanus infection. And we have successfully now done all but about, I think, 7 or 8 small countries, and it's been a very successful partnership. So we have saved millions of babies' lives, and we are very proud of that. This follows on a program we had some years ago where we had Project Iodine deficiency. They gave the remedy to help children and adults who were suffering from that plague as well. And again, we raised about $110 million. So Kiwanis has been very successful in doing these things, and I'm very, very proud of our club. At one time, we had as many as 65 members, but as time has passed, our numbers have dwindled. And I was so pleased to see what was on the board earlier about starting anew, getting a fresh start, getting energized, getting excited. And so that's what we're trying to do with our club. And I'm here to shamelessly recruit. We need new members. We need you all. You all are the movers and shakers. You are the people with energy and vision. You understand needs. You get up and do something about it. So I'd like to invite you to be our guest for supper. Our club is now meeting the first and third Sunday each month at Jim's Restaurant at 1604 in Nacogdoches. So we would love to have you come, and you will be our guest for supper. We'll tell you more about our work and show you how you might become involved in helping children, because that's what we're all about, trying to serve the world by helping children, one child and one community at a time, and especially here in our local area. So thank you so much for your kind time and attention. And Mindy, thank you for working me in today. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking at you as a prospective member.
Of course, I have time to join another organization. Absolutely, I would love to. So join them. I could be down with that. If you're meeting at a place called Jim's, I could like check in on Facebook and say I'm at the gym and misspell, right, Leanne? We just talked about that. So I can actually be behind something like that where it can appear like I'm somewhere I'm not. Next, I actually am a part of the Rotary. I'm also a part of Northeast Partnership and a couple other organizations. And with that, I also have joined the Friends of Nighthawks. The Friends of Nighthawks is at Northeast Lakeview College group. There's people from all over our community, leaders of our organizations. We meet, I think, quarterly. Got messed up during COVID. But the last time I joined them, they did a presentation that I think it would be very valuable for our business owners. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Director of Corporate College, Economic and Workforce Development, Colin Nichols, to give you a little bit of an update on what they have going on.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Colin, and I have been with the Alamo College system for about this month is 16 years, so good on me. I always love it when I get to this side of the town. I was retired from the Air Force, and I had an office right here on Pat Booker Road, so I'm very familiar with the area. Every time I come back, it is a lot bigger than when I left it, so the growth is tremendous. I live over by SeaWorld now, and the 151 corridor is the same way. It keeps on expanding with businesses all the time. So I started off at Northwest Vista College in 2006 and working as director of CE and corporate, and moved over to the district and working with the 5 colleges to help bring awareness to businesses for the different types of training that we can do for them. So what I'm going to talk about today is just really the tip of the iceberg, things that I thought that would help. Anything I talk about you can get with Will from the college, with Rudy or Peggy, and my colleague from the district, Christina, and we can answer any questions afterwards, or just send us an email and people will be able to find out where we're at, where we're hiding. So with that, corporate college under continuing education. Everybody knows about the 5 colleges. Northwest Vista, Northeast Lakeview, SAC, PAC, and I'm forgetting one, St. Philip's. How can I forget about St. Philip's and Southwest Campus? So we go out into the community, the corporate college team, and let people know what the 5 colleges can do when it comes to business proposals, business RFPs, or just customized training, anything to that nature. As we all know, the 5 colleges, we have about 90,000 students at any one time, give or take. We have about 10,000 degrees awarded yearly. Of that 90,000, 30,000 are continuing education students. We are an Aspen Award. 4 of our colleges are top 150 Aspen Award, and the district is a Malcolm Baldridge Award winner. I like to always say that because we really know what we're doing. Our mission in the corporate college is we deliver targeted training solutions for organizations, teams, and individuals in order to develop skills and enhance organizational performance. So the division I work with and my partners, we are here for one purpose, and that's for industry. We get up every day, and our one mission is to help industry produce, help them with their workforce, make every individual they have working for them become more productive. We build your workforce in hitting major areas. So we have clusters, institutes in manufacturing and aerospace, construction, logistics, oil and gas, information technology, health and biosciences, business and finance. So the training that we can do can come in any one of those areas. We're very diverse, and we can really formulate anything that a business would need. Some of the areas I'm going to hit to help is business empowerment program, working with the city. Our Skills for Small Business grant help a lot of businesses here in this side of town with Northeast Lakeview to help pay for the training. Alamo Manufacturer Assembler Certification, our AMAC, that we worked with Project Quest years ago to develop for production, manufacturing. Alamo College's Training Institute, and then also our Youth Apprentice Readiness Grant that we just started this year. So, what we're all about. We have one role to play in the corporate college and continuing education. We want to increase your productivity. We want to improve morale, because we all know when you invest in your folks, they're happier. It keeps them from leaving you for that $1 more. They want to stay with a company that invests in them, and impact performance, which is for you to be able to show my return on investment for my investment into my workforce and how they're able to do more with what they have. So we service, that's our service map. Pretty much everybody knows the Alamo Colleges has a large footprint. We are the largest community college system here in the region. So business empowerment. So we have a program that we work with the city of San Antonio with. companies can mentor with larger companies. It's funded through the city, and a small company that's looking to break into working with a larger projects benefits from this by partnering. So once a month, they mentor with the larger company, say a Zachary Construction with a small type of company. They're able to do that. We have a whole dedicated team that works strictly with the city and the college to be able to sit down with them and map out a whole process for them that helps them with the small business. This has been going on, small business for the Mentor Protege program for about, I want to say, 10 to 12 years. And it's funded through our interlocal agreement with the city. Another area. Well, how do I help? How can we help you pay for training? So we have the small business grant. If you can see there, hopefully you can see a little bit of it. $1,800 for a new hire and $900 for someone that you have an incumbent worker. What's an incumbent worker? Anybody who's been with you for a year or more. We're able to put, if you have a company, it's 99 people or less, which a lot of your companies are here in the chamber. A lot of chamber who make up is that size group. We're able to fund the training that you might be looking for. We have someone that can come out and customize it for you, work with you on it, be able to, do a gap analysis, all funded through the TWC grant of small businesses. A couple of requirements. They just look at through Texas Workforce Commission, a tax account, prevailing wages is important, things of that. But all these different requirements can be talked about and discussed so that we can map something out that's customized to you. We have some coming up. I know Kathy wanted me to mention starting in July. One of the pandemic results is that we've put a lot of this all online, where a lot of it was face-to-face. We've took a lot of these subjects and put it online through Zoom, and it's worked out great for the small businesses because before maybe face-to-face wasn't the best result for them because we build it as a consortium. You might send 2 people, maybe 1, another business sends someone else, and we're able to put a class together, and if it's online, the availability just helps. Working with Project Quest years ago with Sister Pearl, we came up for manufacturers, came up with the Alamo Manufacturing Assembler Certification. Now, I know this area is big on manufacturing. A lot of the different, I know talking to Will a couple weeks ago, Northeast Lakeview is going to have a lot more in manufacturing with the building that they're doing. We're able to do a production type of training, hitting the MSSC, which is the Multi-Skilled Standard Council certification. It's an actually recognized certification for the student or your workforce. And whether you want quality, safety, or any one of the certifications that we can do, once again, through the AMAC program to help get their CPT certification, which is a Certified Production Technician, to help in the manufacturing arena. Maybe you don't want all 4 certifications for your employee. We can just do quality, or we can do safety. A lot of options we can do for the individual business through customization. Our Alamo College's Technical Institute, our ACTI program, whereas the previous program, the AMAC, was about production folks, this is more the multi-skilled technician, where we get into the really who can fix the robotics. That's what we train on. We have a lab at our Workforce Center of Excellence down off of next to Southwest Campus, and we're able to help journeymen, electricians, technicians, or certified tradesmen. Mechatronics, if you haven't heard the term before, is mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer controls, and information technology, all into one. A lot of terms you'll hear now is manufacturing 4.0. This addresses manufacturing 4.0. Here's some of the courses. It's spelled out for a whole year catalog. And the nice thing about it is a company, not one company needs to fill the class because nobody can put 6 people off the line at one time. So a company can send me 1, 2, maybe 3. I have another company, let's say Caterpillar, maybe Pressure Systems sends me a couple, and we build it that way as a consortium, which takes the heat off the individual company to be able to get their people trained. So you can see there, I put the prices in there just to show we're reasonably priced because we're a nonprofit. Alamo Colleges, Northeast Lakeview. We want to train your folks for impact in the community. We're all about the community. And so we have some of our courses are 40 hours, some of them are 80 hours, depending on how long, on what the type of course it is. We've had a lot of success with this program. It's 6 years old now. We're in our 6th year. I figured it would go for 2 because if anybody hasn't heard of Texas FAME, the Advanced Manufacturing Technician Program, we knew we had a long-term pipeline, the 2-year degree program, and we wanted to do something as a boot camp style. So a lot of the companies would come to us and say, you know, what can I do right now for someone to get training in 40 hours and then back in the field? And we came up with the ACTI program. And like I said, I figured it would go maybe 1 or 2 years, and here we're on year 6, and we're still getting companies wanting to fill the different slots in the different months. So 1 month we'll have OSHA blueprint reading. Next month we'll go into electrical, with AC or DC or motor controls, and they can see it a year out and put their folks into it. Like I said, this was a partnership with SAMA, San Antonio Manufacturing Association. Got their input from the small businesses and say, hey, we need this, this, and this, and that's what we built. Everything we do in the corporate college with continuing education, working with all of the college, Northeast Lakeview for this area, is employer input. I know the colleges have advisory groups, and we're always looking for employer input about what courses make sense for your business. And this is what came out of that. Some of our partners in the corporate college, I won't go through them all. You're saying thank goodness, but HEB, you know, AT&T, pretty much a host of everybody in our area. Everybody wants to train their workforce, and that's what the division in corporate college does for them, working with the different colleges in that area. Depending on what you need, we can put it together, work with the college in that area, and for this instant, it would be Northeast Lakeview, and develop a program that works for you. It can be customized or even off the shelf, something we have working with Achieve Global or one of our partners that we can provide training with. Our Youth Apprenticeship Readiness Grant, YARD grant, well, we just started this year. We're the only community college system in Texas that was awarded the grant, and we're looking for college-age students at our colleges that will have an apprenticeship with an individual business. It's new, and we have just put someone on the team that handles the YARD grant, and if you want any more information about the YARD grant, we can help you out afterwards, or just get through Rudy or Peggy or Will, and we can come out and see you and talk to you about it. But we're very excited about it because it's helping industry with a valuable apprenticeship program through DOL, Department of Labor. Handshake, something we started amongst all the colleges, and now with us with corporate college. I would always get emails from companies saying, you know, can you help? Let's say CNA. I've had these openings for CNAs. Can you help me go ahead and fill some of these slots? And I'd always have to refer them to one of our career services folks at the colleges, depending on where they were located. But now we're able to work with the company and get them into Handshake, where they build a profile, and every one of our students going through the colleges or continuing education builds a profile. And you're able to go in there and filter down exactly what you're looking for and see what's available. You can post your jobs on Handshake. You can do virtual career fairs on Handshake. There's a lot of things that we're trying to do post-pandemic that will help companies fill those spots that they want. And whereas other programs, it was, you know, you had to go into each individual college. Once you build your profile on the Handshake, it covers all the colleges here with Alamo colleges. So one size does fit all. I have time for questions. Like I said, this was only a tip of the iceberg of what we can do in continuing education through the corporate college, working with our sister college, Northeast Lakeview, and I can entertain any kind of questions you might have. If not, great. We'll be here till the end of the event, and we can swap business cards and get in touch with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I hear a lot from our businesses that they're having a hard time finding employees. We all know why. So that's starting to kind of improve, but I still feel like that Handshake would be of great value to some of us. So be sure to contact. We have plenty of contacts with Northeast Lakeview and with Alamo Colleges. So if you are interested, please get with one of us. Next, I would like to introduce our board member, our sponsor, one of my biggest cheerleaders. I really appreciate everything he does for me, Mr. Eric Anderson.
Howdy. Oh, this is the great state of Texas. We can do better. Howdy. There we go. Great state of Texas, right? We love it. My name's Eric Anderson, as you all can see. A little bit about myself. I grew up on a family farm, ranch, and dairy in north central Oklahoma. Went to Oklahoma State University on a football scholarship. There was a guy named Jimmy Johnson that was the head coach at that time. One of the players was there. A couple of them were Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas, so I'm dating myself. Some of y'all looked at me kind of funny when I said football scholarship. What position do you think I played? Ouch, that hurts. Oh, my goodness. Wasn't the kicker. I'm sorry, sir? I was the kicking tee. Thank you very much. Love you too, Don. What else? Wide receiver. No, sir? Wasn't the running back. Quarterback. No. Wasn't the safety. I was the left tackle. Water boy. Bench warmer. That's probably more accurate. I was a left tackle on the offensive line. I used to weigh over 300 pounds. I stopped using steroids, and look what happened. Anyway, I did go on a football scholarship there, but I was kind of the, if you want to say bench warmer or water boy kind of thing. I had a $16 million yearly budget. I had 12 guys that worked for me, and I was their head equipment manager. And it was a great way to go to college and not get hit. So I moved to San Antonio in August of 1991. I'm sitting on a bed in north central Oklahoma on a Friday. I get interviewed, basically sitting in Oklahoma. And I'd never been to San Antonio area before in my life. It was sight unseen. They didn't see me. I didn't see them. We faxed resumes and that kind of stuff. Later that afternoon, they called and offered me a position, so I drove halfway down to Fort Worth, about halfway. Stayed the night, Friday night in Fort Worth, drove down Saturday morning, signed contracts at 141 Lavaca Street, San Antonio Independent School District. They had a person help me find a job, or find a place to live. Found that apartment, moved some stuff in out of my car, went to the grocery store. Sunday kind of chilled out. Monday morning woke up going, where's the school? Didn't know where it was. And it was the first day with kids. So I go to the Albertsons at that time. That dates myself there too. Okay. Went inside, and there was a lady in there in uniform, and I asked her if she knew where the school was, and she said that's where I went. So she gave me directions to the school. So I get down to 410 and I-10 over by on that side of town, and I was like, this interstate runs north and south and says east and west. That is confusing. So I turn and go towards downtown San Antonio, and I get to I-10 at Culebra, and there was construction. I couldn't exit at Culebra where I was supposed to exit. Went a little further, closer to downtown. There's another hotel, Holiday Inn. Lady sitting outside in uniform. I pull up. Hi, how are you? Ma'am, do you know where that school is? She said, I live 2 blocks from there. My husband's picking me up. Why don't you follow us? So that's how I found the school. Nelson Elementary, which is at Culebra Zarzamora by Woodlawn Lake, feeds into Jefferson High School. So I walk in, check in. My principal called me Chris. He called me Chris every day, even though my name's Eric. That's okay, though. I get called lots of names, and they're all good. So here's the part that woke me up. I had my 4th grade class outside. And I'm standing with my back to the fence. In fact, Little Flower Catholic Church, or Basilia, is right behind me. 4th graders facing me. I hear some tires peeling out. Then I hear gunshots. Had a drive-by shooting. And I lost one of my 4th grade students, my very first day teaching. Took his life. Bullet in his head. Keith Williams, August 1991. I stayed there for 3 years. Hit the projects to do home visits. Every day there was something going on. So from there, after 3 years of that, I went and got my degree from Harvard, and it was in program on negotiation. Came back and taught Southside High School in San Antonio. And at Southside High School, I never wrote students up for behavior. So my superintendent asked me to write a training, and that was in 1996, so I did. My first period class, all 32 kids had a monitor on their leg. They'd all committed felonies, but I never wrote students up for behavior. I went about it a different way, and I focused on the relationship. See, I believe rules without relationship breeds rebellion. Relationship is first. What should come first, rules or relationship? What should come first? Relationship. What feels like comes first? Rules. Guys, it's about relationship. It's all about relationship. So we started the organization, and I started doing training at Southside Independent School District. And another superintendent sat in on the training, and he asked me to start working with his district. And then it turned into where I spoke in Russia, I've spoken in China, I've been in every Europe country, I've been in Australia, New Zealand. It's crazy. I'm a farm boy from Oklahoma. That took me all over the world. And before I go any further, there's a lot of thank yous I have to a lot of people in this room. I want to thank these people up here for all the work that they've done to help put all this together. I want to thank my friend over here, Stacy, that helps me with the organization. I want to thank Mr. Harlan Pickett over here that a lot of you know. He's a great man. He and I have partnered up on a lot of things, and I'm looking forward to success with him. I also want to thank this hotel for hosting this. And Mindy, I do apologize because I did invite over 20-some people, okay? And we actually have people watching from Germany now. If they got online, they were having struggles a while ago trying to get online. So a lot of thank yous to go. So leaders aren't born, leaders are built. So we look at a process, and what happened is it was a process that built high-performing people and high-performing teams. Our process create positive work environment and build cohesive teams dynamic result in increasing productivity and retention. That is research-based. I do have the data and stuff to back that up. One of the events or whatever that we hold is called Building Champions. We look at a process that builds that high-performing team and teams by creating environments that work, by bringing out the best in you. So let's think about it. Breakfast of Champions is Wheaties, right? Feedback. Feedback is the Breakfast of Champions. If you watch the Super Bowl, how much feedback do those players and coaches and officials and commercials get? A ton. That's why they're the best. It is feedback that helps us grow. It is feedback that helps us develop. It is feedback that grows us into the people that we're created to be. And sometimes that feedback can be kind of tough. So there's lots of definitions of leadership out there. This is the one I believe in. A leader is someone that can put their personal agenda aside and take on a greater agenda of service. I wonder what that feels like today in our culture and looks like. I wonder how many personal agendas are getting in the way of the success of people. See, we all want results, whether you're in education, whether you're in business, whether you're in athletics, we all want results. We all want productivity. So we're going to look at a few things. This is just a process of creating an environment for learning and growth. These are just words. We're talking concepts. We start off with an A. We call it join up or approach. And I'll talk about join up in just a little bit, okay? There's a parallel to this. And explore, identify the needs of the group. So I'm going to ask you all a question. This is going to be a little bit interactive. How would you want Eric Anderson to treat you? With respect, what else? Understanding, what else? kindness. What do I have to do to show you those things with my behavior? What does my behavior have to look like to show you respect? Listen to you when you're talking. How do I show you that I'm listening? Eye contact. Who said that? This kind of eye contact? That's a little creepy, isn't it? Okay, so define it. So define it. Through nodding head or respond, kind of paraphrase what you said maybe. Okay. So that's the very first question I asked the kids in the classroom. And they gave the exact same answers you gave. I had Crips, Kings, Mexican Mafia, Bloods. I had a kid that murdered a cop in my first period. And they gave the exact same answers that you gave. See, we think in terms of words and not behaviors. What does my behavior have to look like? Because everybody's going to define it different. Because of life experience, culture, faith, whatever. And see, the very first question, how do you want me to treat you? Who does that include? Everyone. Nobody's left out. So you, in the leadership role, respect. Show me respect. No, I don't have to. You follow my rules. It's my rules that are important. Oh. Well, what about the customer? In my case, it was the students. How do they want to be treated? How should they be treated? How should we treat each other? How do you think I want to be treated as the leader or the teacher or the owner of a business? How should we treat each other during conflict? Because in relationships, we're going to have conflict and maintain the relationship. So if I have an issue with Don Nance over here, should I go and talk to Jason about it, or should I go to Don? You go to the person, don't you? And hopefully with a good attitude. And I don't go talk to other people about it. I go to the person. And what this is teaching and what this is learning is personal responsibility, self-control, and forming a self-governing classroom. I did not have to police the kids. They policed each other. We came to an agreement on the expectations of what it was going to look like. So we, the people of Mr. Anderson's classroom, agree to treat each other with respect in order to form a more perfect union to live life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So it was teaching them the preamble, obviously, but the Constitution too at the same time, to form a self-governing society. How many want self-governing employees? How many want self-governing organizations? That's what this is about. Those 4 questions, it took me 10 hours in the class period to get it all worked out. But I didn't have behavior issues. Well, we had behavior issues in the classroom, but the kids solved it as a group, and I facilitated it, basically. So that's the approach in Join Up. Building trust. I called it a social contract. Captures a team's shared commitment and desire to strive toward and hold each other accountable to a standard. Now think about it. I spoke in Russia, trying to teach self-governing in Russia. Good luck. So there's the 4 questions, or 5 actually. How do we welcome a new member? How do we welcome a new member to the chamber? How do we welcome a new student? How do we welcome a new person in your company? What is the process for it? Or do we just throw them to the wolves and say, here, go. Here, go. And that's why I love our diplomat team in this. What's really happening here is Mitzi's done a great job. She now has videos that help people join the chamber. I think there's 9 of them approximately that say, here's how you join. Here's how you sign up. Here's how. Just walk them through some simple processes so they feel like they are welcome or joined up. So according to research, and this is the Moravian study, 55% of human communication is through body language and facial expression. 38% is the tone of voice. So that's 7 for the words. But what do we work on the most? Words. What should we work on the most? The other 93%. It's like Mama said, it's not what you said, but how you said it. So it comes across as, like the eye contact over there, the body language and the facial expression I was giving was 93%, which was not cool, was it? See, the student that murdered a cop, he said the same thing. I want eye contact, but I walked up to him and got much closer than I am with this man till he physically shoved me off. I said, I made eye contact with you. You lied. Define it. Tell me what it is. Well, sir, I can't. So how am I supposed to show you something if you can't tell me what it is? So critical thinking and get him looking. Well, the kid that murdered a cop now has he's the vice president of a company and has his master's out of San Angelo State University. It was all through the relationship. It was building a relationship with those people. It's all about relationship. It is. So this next part, if y'all would pull up a video in a little bit, there's a guy named Monty Roberts. Do you know who it is? Anybody know who the Horse Whisperer is? Ever see that movie? I did not. But he and I work close together, the actual guy the movie's about, okay? And we parallel some processes. Monty has worked with 50,000 horses this way. Horses are social. What are people? Horses are fight or flight. What are people? Fight or flight. So the psychological needs for safety, psychological safety are the same. I call it approach. He calls it join up. So if we can go ahead and watch a little bit of this. Now, it's going to be broken because of time, okay? So some broken segments. But the longest for him to put a saddle and a bridle and a rider on the horse is 31 minutes. Average is 22. I was raised on a ranch. It takes 4, 6, 8 months to break a horse. When you break a horse, you know what you got? Broken horse. Break a human or a kid, what do you got? Broken human or kid or business, right? So he's done 50,000 horses this way. He's trained all the horses for the Queen of England and her, or not all the horses, but all her staff with the Queen of England on how to work with horses. Now, there's tons of videos on YouTube on this stuff, okay? But see if you see the parallels. See if you see
I have
some
never
of the
touched
connections.
this horse before. The first time I saw him was a few weeks ago in Montana. What is his name?
Gladiator.
Gladiator. Holy moly. Gladiator. And how old is he? 2-year-old. Okay. Has he ever been ridden? I don't know whether he's ever been ridden before or not. If he has, it's been a very small number of times. I bought a group of horses up there, so he actually belongs to me, but he actually belongs to me for the Willing Partners program, or to become a super gentle horse. I'm going to unclip this, and I'm going to use my eyes, my shoulders. Every movement that I have will be to ask this horse to go away from me, just like that. And he goes away, but don't go away a little, go away a lot, like this. I even want him to canter on away, on away. This is all a communication process. I'm eyes on eyes, shoulders square, all motions square, and traveling so that I open them up. Open up the opportunity for him to move forward. Now I'm ready to turn him and put him back in the original direction he traveled. Now I'm ready for join up, but I'm going to send him again. Speed it up. Then I'm going to take him back down. There's the head coming down. I'm going to take him back down now and let him move along slowly. And then I'm going to go passive. And passive means that I'm going to go in a little bit of a hook and take my left shoulder past his eye and out in front of him at 12 o'clock. Just like this. And I'm going to try to keep my shoulders on a 45-degree angle to his body axis and see if I can pull him with me. Lots of distractions. Pull him with me for that moment of join up. Reward and walk away. Join up and follow up. And when people saw this, and they'd been working the difficult way all their lives, They said, "This can't be, man. That guy's possessed by the devil."
Prey animals' eyes are on the side of their head. So a horse is going to see me as a what? A predator, because my eyes are on the front. Horses were made to be eaten, so all of them have PTSD, and they're hypervigilant, hyperdiligent, very hyper. Because a lot of times around that round pen, you'll have 50 or 60 humans around it, and that horse doesn't know it's humans. It's a predator getting ready to eat me. So that horse is ready to take off. And that horse is like, I want to get out of here. So see, in the wild, horses, when they're by themselves, what are they afraid of? Anything and everything. So if a horse is physically alone in the wild, it's physically vulnerable to predators. If a human is psychologically alone, they're socially vulnerable to predators. See the parallels? It's about relationship. Now, he's done 50,000 horses this way, through building a relationship, a trusting relationship, through a step-by-step process. So we look at, what is it that I can do with my behavior to have a better relationship with someone, become a safe person? What is it that I can do to become a safer person for people? What process can I put in place? How do I know? Breakfast of Champions is feedback. I got to hear it from the other people. By putting my personal agenda aside to take on a greater agenda of service. Questions? Is that a lot to unpack? That's a lot, isn't it? Now, if we had time, there is videos where you can see him put on the bridle, the horse, the saddle. And I look at that and going, okay, here's your math lesson, or here is paying taxes, or here is your training for Microsoft Excel. Here is, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this class. I want out of here. So I want the person feeling like it was way better to be back with me than out there in the real world. I want that horse feeling like it was way better to be with Monty than back out there in the wild with predators. And the horse wants to get back where? To the group. For what? Safety. Where do some of us want to be? Back to where? Groups for safety. So the parallels are kind of endless. So he's negotiating what? Relationship. So let's talk about negotiation a little bit. Yes? No, that's the first time he ever touched that horse. Never seen that horse before. Nope. Never seen that horse before. It's the first time. And he works with all kinds of different personality of horses. Ha, there's a parallel. There's a parallel right there. So let's talk negotiation. Let's say I'm at home, and my son, I have 2 kids, a daughter and a son. They're 17 and 20 now, but let's back it up. Let's say I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, or whatever, and my son runs in, Jared runs in, Emily runs in, and say, Dad, I want that orange. There's 1 orange left. I want the orange, I want the orange, I want the orange. Well, what's the parent normally, not everybody, but what's the parent normally do? Cut it in half. Super dad, life goes on, great decision-making skills, man, I'm great. Emily, why do you want it? Dad, I want the orange peeling because I can make some potpourri out of it. Well, Jared, why do you want it? I want to eat it. Oh, they both got 100% of what they both wanted, and I didn't have to waste any product. Their voices mattered. They learned self-governing, communication, all that kind of thing. And they're now understanding how their voice is important and their value and self-worth. And it's maintaining the relationship and solving a conflict. So how do you maintain a relationship when you're in a conflict? Well, we can show you 5 different steps to do that and how to maintain that relationship and solve a conflict. But it has to put the relationship first. It has to, or the conflict, because I can't listen when I'm being defensive. None of us are defensive. None of us listen when we're defensive. When I hands up like this, doesn't work. So And those 4 questions, how do you want to be treated? Some people might give the answer open-minded. Would you want me to be open-minded or open heart? What's more powerful? Heart. But see, that takes trust, doesn't it? And that takes trust. Lot to process? Any other questions? How are we doing on time? Okay, all right. So we'll leave it with this. I'm Eric Anderson, owner of E.R. Anderson Associates, founder. My goal is your success. I wish you the best. Thank you for your time.
And Eric forgot to tell you all that there's table tents where you take out your phones and then you connect with him to have his advice and coaching and an assessment.
Thank you, Shankar. A lot stood out to me, but 2 things stood out to me on that. Feedback. I'm okay, you don't have to give me feedback. It scares me of what you guys would say to me, so just keep that to yourselves or tell each other. I don't need to hear it. That was one thing that definitely stuck out to me. And then the reward, where he said that they rewarded the horse, that I'll accept. I don't want feedback, I'll take the rewards. These are our new members that we had in last month. So I don't even know what month we are anymore, but in May. These are our new members and our renewing members. So thank you to our new and renewing members. We sure do appreciate that. One thing that I would want to point out is that here we have this slide, which is our member challenge. If you're new, this was just a way for us to try to get all of our members engaged. And so there's ways to earn points, come to a luncheon, bring a guest to a luncheon, sign up a new member. Eric was in the lead by a landslide. He has been bringing in new members and now brought 25 guests. So the reason his name is not here on the leaderboard is because he asked to not be. He said, I'm doing this because that's what I want to do for Tri-County. That's what I want to do for you. I want to do. And he said, I'm just here to support you guys. I'm on the board. It's my job. So thank you, Eric, for everything that you've done for us. And thank you for bowing down and allowing other people to have an opportunity. With that being said, the Tri-County Member Challenge for this quarter is sponsored by the Delgado Realty Group. Jason and Mitzi won last quarter, but they decided to take that money and move it forward to this quarter. So we appreciate that generous donation back. Our leaderboard is Kathy Bauer with TLC and the Blue Book Network. Mitzi Delgado, she's still working it, guys, you see, and Lisa Ubala, who's not here today. So if you want to jump on, join, get some members, attend some stuff, get some points up, you have a chance to win $250 cash each quarter. Our next mixer is going to be at Genesis Care, June 24th from 5:30 to 7:30, and that is on Topawine Road as their cancer center. They'd like to showcase some of the things that they have to offer. So please join us there for some networking, some appetizers, drinks, and this. So you're welcome. Our next luncheon, if you missed last luncheon that we had at Blue Bonnet, we made it a little fun, and Mayor Daley, who's not here with us today, but I like to pick on him because he likes to pick on all of us, right? So I had a bubble machine, and he had to wear floaties so that he was safe. But that's just an idea of what we do. Our next luncheon is actually going to be back at Blue Bonnet. So that's July 13th, 11:30 to 1. We will remind you 37 times like we did the last time because I know that by habit, we all will come here for the luncheon. But we'll be sure to try to remember to remind you guys over and over and over again. I would like to also, real quick, I want to introduce Andy Joseph. She is a training recruiter from the Army National Guard. She showed up today and she wanted to give away a bunch of little goodie bags, so we're going to let her. She said she saw us online and we were having a luncheon, so she said it looked like it was going to be really small and she did not anticipate this group, which neither did we. So I'm going to let her draw. You have 9. She has 9 goodie bags. She's going to draw 9 names, and you can go up to the table up there and pick up a goodie bag if we draw your name. The first one is it Jeannie Hess? Jeannie Hess? With Young Living. We've got Miss Donna Louder all the way in the back. Woo woo! She's a winner.
Oh, she gave me her seat.
See, she gave her seat and she won. Look at that. I always say that when you give, you get back, right? We have Wendy from Massage Medic on the back. Rachel Sheridan from Valmark Chevrolet. She's also fortunate enough to be one of my friends and hang out with me outside of this, so I feel sorry for her. Jason Turner, New Choices. I think he stepped out. And Peggy with Alamo Colleges. How many we got? Michael Hornis, City of Live Oak, standing in the back. Come on down. We've got, Herschel Craig. somebody saw the card from like way back there and knew your card. That's good. That's a good thing. And Miss Sherry Cross with TLC Lawn Care. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. I'll be calling you soon. My son's 16, and I'm about ready to get rid of him anyway, so we'll send him to you. He wants to go to Baylor, which KK is totally down for, but I might send him to you first. I'm going to sneak over here. I'm sorry for moving. Media guys, they hate it when we do this, but I'm going to do it because we had a lot of stuff going on over there. All right, the next item that I'm going to give away is from Shirts Bank and Trust. We got a couple lunches on them. And again, this is like my son's heaven right here, Chick-fil-A and Whataburger. I should get stock in both of these places. 16-year-old boys, I tell you. Look at that, she's going to continue to draw for us. All right, so we draw one for this. Chuck Browning with Legal Shield. Lunch on Shirts Bank. Thank you, Mr. Richard. That's what we like to say when he buys us lunch, right? Thank you, Mr. Richard. All right, this one is going to be a bottle of wine from Miss Missy Carpenter with Remax Corridor. That goes to Laura Franklin, Riddy's River City. I can't talk today. They signed up as members today and signed up for the luncheon today. So I swear every time it's like a first time day of. This goes with it. Here you go. Last night. Okay, last night. Thank you. This is from Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I have two of these. These are cups, and they've got VIP. Elizabeth Coleman. You still here? Oh, there she is. And we've got another one of these that we are going to give to Becky Smith Fairchild. Here you go. That's Tropical Smoothie Cafe in Shirts. The next what we're going to give is a goodie bag from TLC Lawn Care. That's going to Gail Ingram. And now I'm going to give, we all fight over this, the big swag bag. They all go, oh, they all know what it is, right? The big swag bag, I'm not even going to bother to pick it up. It's so heavy. It's so full of stuff from Leanne. She has a table outside. If you didn't stop on your way in, stop on your way out. She's got goodies out there, and she is always bringing us this giant bag of swag. And the winner of this, I hope you worked out this morning. I did not. Ann Black. You can leave it there, or you can carry it if you feel like you got the muscle, girl. I'm gonna call two more. We're gonna do two more cards. This is filled with lots of goodies. You're gonna have a good time tonight. There's some Fireball too. It's the goodie bag. Okay, we're going to call out two more names, and this is actually it's donated by Eric Anderson with E.R. Anderson Associates for some private coaching. I don't know the value, but if just for the little bit that we saw, it's got a high value. So we're going to draw two people to get that. I don't know, Eric. Judging from what I saw, you might need some more training. Monica for Congress. I swear every month they say she's going to join us, and every month she gets like called to duty or something. So you can use this for your staff or for yourself, for your husband. If he gets out of line, maybe he needs some training. That's Eric. And the last one goes to Jim with River City Window Coverings. There you go. Ba-dum-bum. It is rigged. It is rigged. So you just have to contact Eric if you want to sign up some of your staff, or I'm sure it's you that needs the training, not your wife. We all know, right? Thank you so much, Andy. We appreciate you being here and drawing and taking the heat off of me. Again, I want to thank Eric Anderson with ER Anderson Associates. I want to thank Colin for giving us a little lowdown about that. Again, if you guys need some employee training or you want some interns, get in contact with Alamo Colleges. Thank you to my diplomat team. You guys are amazing. You know how much I love you. Our media team making us look legit. Y'all notice that I didn't mess with the slides today. We had to go transition into a video and back, and usually I mess that up. It went very smoothly. Thank you guys. And thank you to my board and for all of you coming today. Have a great afternoon.